came into volunteer work as a kid, and I was part of a singing group where my voice teacher was a single, self-employed mother with a daughter with Down syndrome, and faced really tremendous issues, both being a woman in society and being single, both being a single mother and having a child with advanced special needs, and faced a lot of discrimination from schools, from people in her church even, and was really taught me a lot about the way society treats marginalized people and sort of my obligation to change that. And I think not living with her, but seeing her once a week and going to her house and really being a part of her family gave me the understanding that I've come to about, you know, people being people. Like, no matter what labels are applied, people are people. And so I became involved in service because it had always been a part of my life. With her, I had done a lot of singing service groups. I think once I got to college and started reflecting about it, I realized the why I did service much more. It wasn't just something that I did because I felt like it was a good thing or it was just obligatory. I realized that aside from just the things that you see every day, there's really structural sort of systems in place that really create the need for service in our society. That things are much deeper than just, you know, a kid is failing in school. There's all sorts of underlying reasons for why that's happening. And so the why I do service now is that I realize that society isn't structured in a way that's fair, isn't structured in a way that gives people equal opportunity, and I feel a very strong obligation to try to change that. Because it's funny, you think of service as something that's supposed to be feel good, and I think that it is, but it also isn't. I think in my service experiences, there have been days when I've gone home from program or working with my kids and like gone home in tears because you realize, you know, something your child says to you about what their conditions are like at home, or something that they've been struggling with, and then you see them give up, and it's that feeling of, you know, why does this even exist? Like, why do I even need to be here? Like, why is the society not creating a condition in which this child who is completely innocent and hasn't done anything doesn't have an opportunity to flourish? And so I think service and meeting people and hearing their stories can be one of the most heartbreaking things in the world. But at the same time, it goes back to the idea of how much you get from doing service, and that you aren't just, you know, giving service, you're receiving from the people that you work from, you're receiving their stories, you're receiving their knowledge, you're receiving their love, you're receiving their understanding of the world, and that is just transformative, you know? That's something that I feel has been what I've learned the most at Harvard. It hasn't been my schoolwork, it hasn't been any of the extracurriculars or things that I've done. It hasn't even been just the conversations with my friends and people that I enjoy at Harvard. It's been meeting people from outside of Harvard, meeting people from across Boston community, meeting people of all different walks of life, meeting ex-convicts, people who are in prison, people who are homeless, kids who have the most incredible circumstances, and learning from them. And I think that that's been something that has completely transformed the way I see the world and the way I see myself and the way I see my life going forward.